many companies have been run for a long time on vision, mission, and strategy that's developed by the leadership. We then have KPIs in the business, and these can be up and down at different levels. And people work on projects to drive the business forward. Companies have, or at company level, I should say, we have a number of KPIs, revenue, profits. There could be many other KPIs. Usually KPIs are limited to 5, 6, 7. They're key performance indicators. And then we get down to the teams, and often it's quite a mixture with the teams. You might have a product team that really works on projects. So they're very busy working on projects to develop new products or enhance existing products. The sales team are very focused on the KPIs, revenue, sales calls, etc. And we might have a marketing team that's actually focused on KPIs and projects. So basically, they're working on both parts as well. But why doesn't this work these days? Basically, often when we start with a vision, mission, and strategy, it's giving us a very broad long-term direction. Often when we get down to strategy, it might be a 2-3 year vision that's showing up there. And if I take that strategy and I share it to the teams, it doesn't give a narrow or clear direction of where we need to move, especially in the timescales that people are thinking about. You know, a lot of times people are thinking about, what am I going to do this week, this month, this quarter as a long term. But the strategy is often for 2 to 3 years. KPIs and targets are set, but how do we achieve them? The big problem with KPIs and targets, they tell us what we want to achieve, but not how we're going to get there. If I set a target to sell $10 million next quarter, it doesn't tell me how we're going to get there. If we're coming from 5 million to 10 million, we need to understand how we're actually going to drive the business forward to reach them. Often the projects are set, but often the intention was to make it tie back to the KPIs, but often the project becomes its own object, and we forget what we were actually trying to achieve with the KPIs. Projects themselves are often determined as successful if they're on time and on budget. But what about the actual business improvement? How do I understand, did it drive us forward? What was the aim of doing this project? Usually there was always at the start an aim, a business improvement aim to that project, but we rarely measure that. Projects may be developed for 6, 12 months or even more. It's not very agile. You know, we've all been affected in some way or not by C-19. But this isn't the first thing that's come and disrupt our business lives. We've had banking crisis, dot-com busts. Many of us in other businesses might have had competitive upheavals that have changed the business landscape. What that means is it's getting much, much harder. The rate of change is speeding up. It's much harder to say we can plan out 6 or 12 months in advance without at some point realizing we're going to have to change 9 months of planning work and start again. That's very wasteful. Long-term projects also result in siloed organizations. So we plan out what people are going to be working on in a long period of time and then send them off to their corners to work. That, in a modern world, isn't the best way to get the best out of people. Everybody's working in a very siloed, insular way without looking at what's changing or how specifications are changing. And if they do, it disrupts everybody's plans. Now, this is really where OKRs come in. OKRs really connect all these pieces together, and they do it in a way that helps you get your KPIs, your vision, mission, and strategy, your projects all aligned or driven through OKRs.